Welcome to my YouTube. What's up? Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Craig. This is my e36 BMW, and in this video, I'm going to upgrade the stock sound system. First things first, I feel like everybody probably knows this, but if you don't, disconnect your battery when you're working on your car so you don't mess anything up. Ask me how I know. Pretty far gone. The 4-inch mid-range speakers. I'm going to leave the tweeters because they're pretty expensive and they really don't look like they're in that bad a shape. Overall, this will be a better increase in the sound quality because right now there is zero quality. Alright, easy enough. You remove these two screws in the corners. Pop the speaker out. There is a bit of adhesive so it doesn't rattle. Be careful if your speakers aren't damaged. And it's easy enough. Just two connectors. To remove. Remember which side came from where. And replace them the same on your new speaker. Okay, you really got to check what you see on the forums because this said it was a 4-inch speaker. But you can see it's much smaller. Fits in the hole, but it's kind of like loose. So I might try to cut this and modify it to accept the new speaker, or I'll just screw it in place. So I used a pair of snips, I cut this off, but as you can see, it really probably doesn't make a difference. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop it in. I'm gonna pre-drill the holes. I'm just going to use the gasket off of here and kind of put the new screws in. Here we go, it's installed. What I did, match up my drill bit with the size of the screw, drill it in gently because this is hard plastic, and then I screwed it in by hand so I don't crack it. There's two clips on these housings. There's one that's not flexible and there's one that is. On my other housing, this is broken off, but it still has secured screws in them and this flexible clip. So what you're going to do is gently slide your housing into place, plug it in, and then secure it with the screws that you removed from the housing. They look like this. After it's secure, you can put the cover back on. I guess I'll go back to front. Bottom line is, I'm not changing these two. If you have an E36, you know door cards are extremely fragile. As you can see, this one is already pretty jacked up. I'm not gonna put it through any more agony. This one can stay on. However, I did have to do my driver's side door window regulator. So that door panel's off. I can show you what it looks like with it removed. What you're gonna do is take off this trim piece, remove these two covers, take the two screws out, and be very careful popping all the clips out because very likely you're going to destroy your door panel. All right, let's say you popped up all the clips. You're gonna gently unplug these wires, which is to move your mirrors and the two door speakers. Put this aside, change the speakers, put the panel back on. But like I said, it's very likely you're going to rip these off and break those off and the top ones. Luckily, my car's previous owner already did that for me. So, you know, I don't have to worry so much anymore. All right, so I re-input the screws, smack the clips back in like that, and we're back. Not gonna lie, I really don't want to do these ones mainly because you have to mess with this piece of trim. First, we're gonna remove this handle, we're gonna lift up this trim, and then we're gonna remove this kick panel that hides the speaker. This is pretty easy. This, I don't like this. It's probably gonna break. Okay, I was able to sneak it by. I pulled off the weather stripping, removed the handle, and then all you really do is pull this panel and it comes out, and then I just finagled it out of the way. So now we have access to the speaker. That's right. All right, they're installed. I highly recommend testing them before you reinstall the panels, just in case the connections are bad. So there's a few ways you can install a radio. Mine was already installed before I decided to shoot this video. However, I'm gonna just demo with some wire, crimping tool, some connectors, heat shrink. So you can either cross-reference your factory wiring, which I've done, to the radio harness, splice all the wires together, then you're set. Or you could go to, say, Crutchfield, get a factory harness adapter, and then the colors would roughly match together with the radio harness, attach all of those. And this way you don't have to cut your factory harness. That's up to you. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your crimpers, you're gonna strip the wire. You wanna take just enough through that you take off the plastic coating. You don't wanna remove any of the copper inside. After you do that, twist the wires together. You can either use electrical tape, which I've done to close this connection, or you could use heat shrink where you would slide it over and then use a torch or a heat gun to make this shrink over the wiring connection. The other option is butt connectors. They have heat shrinking ones and they have regular ones. I use the heat shrinking ones. They're a little more expensive, but they do make it nicer. So what you would do is twist your wire in there, right? Crimp it on each end. Make sure it's tight. You can give it a little tug. Mine's not. But after that, you would then heat shrink it with a torch or a heat gun. And then you would be set. You do that for each wire. You got left and right front speakers, you got left and right rear speakers, you have memory, you have power, you have ground, you have illumination, you have an amp turn on wire. Some cars use it, some cars don't. And then you would use the bracket, slide your aftermarket radio in, and you would be set. Okay, so car's all back together. Everything's tested. And even better, system was already installed. This shit bumps.